The price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Black first brothers and sisters, welcome to the Afro Elite YouTube channel. I am your host, Afro Elite. And before we get started tonight, please make sure that you guys are subscribed by hitting that subscribe button and hitting the notification bell. That way you don't miss out on any future content. Also, leave a like and share this on your very social media platforms or to a family or friend, because all of that helps the reach and the growth of this channel. We're growing this channel at a very steady, very fast rate, which is a good thing. It's a really good thing. I'm just checking something out right now, make sure my sound is working. So with us working as a team, we're at over 6K. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate sincerely all of the support. We've reached the 6K goal before the end of the month. Like I said it was a no-brainer. I said we were going to do it, and we did it. And we can get to 10K right around the corner by the end of the year. I want us to, before we go into tonight's subject, let's just give ourselves a round of applause. I want to give you guys a round of applause because we started this off this year. We started this year off and we had a little over 3K. We were close to the 4K mark, but we unfortunately, couldn't make it. We couldn't make it to the 4K mark. Now, it took a whole year to get from one, because I want you to think and everything like that. All that stuff that happened last year, I wasn't even at 1K. So the 1K, we went from 1K to 3K, a little over 3K in a year. And now we've gone from a little over 3K to 6K in less than 6 months. All right. So we got 6 months left. We can definitely get to that. That 10K is easily around the corner. All right. So salute to everybody. Let's give some shout outs. Let's see who's in the room with us. We have Lillian in here. Yeah. Chicago. We're definitely going to get into that. Thank you for being here. Genesis is in here. B1 to you. PBFL Ghost. That's a cool name. We're gonna get into this heavy tonight. I hope you guys are ready for a locked and loaded broadcast. QQ, what's up, Afro Lee? What's up, QQ? How you doing? Our good brother Torian Rain is in here. B1 to Torian. War with us is in here. Ty the Man. B1 to you. Judah Queen. B1 to you. DBS. Our good brother. B1 to you. And Grape Shot is in the building with us too. So good B1 to you, and thank you for being here with us tonight. Now, first thing I want to do, we got to address this. We have to address this. Now, I posted this clip up, went viral, right? Went viral, super viral. Everybody in Chicago was upset about this. Let me see if I can pull it up, right? So check this out. Hold on. Check this out. I'm going to make this bigger for you guys. Just a second, actually.
Not everybody is on board with spending $51 million in
Now, I'm going to actually zoom in. Yep. Now, this was last week. Check this. Listen to this. Now, before we do that, I almost forget. Before we do that, let's make sure that we're safe. So here we go. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, now we can get to the video. I didn't want, YouTube messing with it.
Not everybody is on board with spending $51 million in financial aid for migrants coming to Chicago, and many residents are voicing their concerns, and they did so right before the council meeting. More than 10,000 asylum seekers have arrived in Chicago since last August. Hundreds, as you mentioned, still sleeping on floors at various police departments. This proposed funding is only expected to last through June. Aldermen are split on which way to vote, with some saying that money should go to underfunded neighborhoods and others saying this is a sanctuary city and we have to help those seeking asylum. Chicago's GOP leaders, along with members of the Black Community Collaborative and Neighborhood Network Alliance, held press conferences urging aldermen to vote no.
We don't know where that money's coming from. We are not being told where that money's going to be spent. We're not being told how it's being spent. It is irresponsible for the city council to appropriate what is no more than stopgap money that will get us through a month or two. And then the problem will still be staring at us in the face.
On the state level, Chicago's not getting as much money as expected in a new budget. Springfield approved over $42 million in migrant aid for the entire state, leaving much less for the city of Chicago. The council is also expected to vote on permanent outdoor dining program, allowing restaurants to expand outdoors to sidewalks and even curb lanes, and in some cases, entire streets, like we saw in River North during the pandemic.
My bad. Oh, my bad. Okay. My bad. Okay. I'm sorry. Y'all hear me now, right? Okay. Okay. My bad. I'm sorry, y'all. Anyway, let me start this up. Right? Brandon Johnson is doing the same exact things Lloyd Lightfoot was doing. The same things Lloyd Lightfoot was doing. Okay? Brandon Johnson said that he disagreed with the way Lloyd Lightfoot handled it. And he's doing the same thing. Now, we've been talking about this for about a good 6 months. We were talking about this for about a good 6 months, pretty much since the end of summer last year. That's when they started coming over here, and we've already had a budget that's been maxed out. We've had a budget that's been completely maxed out when it comes to what they call asylum seekers. Now, technically, by definition, these people who are coming in, they're not asylum seekers, or at least we can't just give them the blanket label of asylum seekers, because the thing is that asylum seekers is like, if you live by the definition, if you like live in a country, let's say America, we're going to use America, right? Now, America, you have the choice to believe in the Democrats or the Republican. It's not a dictatorship. Okay, it's a democracy, or at least that's what they call it, a democracy, right? So you can believe in whatever you want to believe in, and you cannot be persecuted because of your political beliefs. Now, if you were persecuted because of your political beliefs, and you had to flee because of political or religious or something like that beliefs, and you had to flee to another place to seek asylum or shelter or whatever, that's what they call asylum seekers. These people are not fleeing because of their political beliefs. These people are not fleeing because of religious beliefs. These people are fleeing because America has the bag. America is the land of opportunity because of foundational Black Americans, and they're coming to get the bag. They're not seeking asylum from an oppressive government that's oppressing them because of their beliefs that go against the government. They're saying, hey, we don't have it back home. Y'all have it here. Let's come and get a slice of the pie. That's why. All right. Now, Chicago has already given millions and millions of dollars, so much so, and I remember making a broadcast about this, so much so, Lloyd Lightfoot was sitting up there saying, hey, we're out of room. We're done. We were putting them in hotels. That's maxed out. We were putting them in all of the shelters. That's maxed out. We don't have any room to put them. So much so they were sleeping on police floors in police stations. All right, and they were sleeping in the airport, O'Hare Airport, on the floor, because there's so many of them. They were getting bussed over here. Then, to a degree, they were getting shipped over here through planes. It's been so many of them that Chicago does not have enough room for all of that, and it doesn't have enough money. Remember, I don't know if you guys do remember, like last year when I talked about this situation, I said that Lori Lightfoot opened up a thing on the like Chicago website asking Chicagoans to donate money, resources, or anything for these illegals to come over here. She was asking for donations for them because she already knew, like, hey, we don't have enough time. We don't have enough resources and time to prepare. They're coming at such a fast rate. Not only are they maxed out of the shelters and all of the resources, they're coming at a fast rate. We can't even plan for them to come. It's not like they're coming and then there's a break and we can build a new shelter or whatever the case is. They're coming and it's coming at a fast. They're fleeing over here at such a fast rate that the government of Chicago really has nothing to do. This is why they turned that school into a temporary shelter, and that's why all of the Chicagoans in that area, they were all like, hey, no, you can't just put them over here. You don't know nothing about these people, and yeah, you putting them in our neighborhoods. And these are schools that were closed down that you guys promised that you guys would reopen. You guys promised us that you guys would reopen. They promised black people in Chicago, and every black person from Chicago in this chat room can testify to this. They promised a bunch of stuff to black people in Chicago when they took down the housing projects and everything like that. And they said that, oh, we're taking that down. It's a big mess. And they knew it was going to be a big mess because when they built it up, they didn't take care of it at all. And they let crime fester and corrode and destroy that entire neighborhood. And then they said, everybody got to immediately move out and we're just going to destroy the buildings. They destroyed the buildings. And then they said, okay, don't worry about that. That was a mistake. We had no idea that was going to happen. We're going to build houses for everybody so everybody can have houses. Never did that. Never did that at all. Then when they took the schools down in the black neighborhoods, they didn't do it in the white neighborhoods. They didn't do it in the Hispanic neighborhoods. They did it in the black neighborhoods. And then they were all like, oh, don't worry about it. We promise we're going to rebuild the schools again. And everybody's going to be happy. They promised that, and they never did that. Now the schools that they didn't rebuild for black people, despite the fact that black people living in Chicago, contributing to the economy in Chicago and all of that, despite that, they're doing that for these illegals coming over here. They are getting immediate preferential treatment. Okay, so that is a big issue. That is a very, very big issue. Let me get this off because I want to pull this up. So a lot of people in Chicago were pretty fed up about this. So this article I'm going to read to you guys because there's a couple of things that we have to get this off here. There's a couple of things that we have to discuss. Okay, and this was about 5 days ago. This was about a good 5 days ago. Okay, and hold on, slowing up. Okay, divided city council approves $51 million in immigrant crisis funds. Okay, they're illegals. Okay, they're not immigrants. Okay, but let's frame this correctly. Let's frame the whole situation correctly. Okay, I'm not even gonna read the subtitles because we have other things I want to talk about, and I don't want to take up too much time. Right? So it says a divided city council, and I don't know why they're saying divided because I'm gonna be honest, most of the city council agreed. It was damn near a majority vote. Okay, it wasn't really that divided, but okay. A divided city council agreed Wednesday to slap a $51 million band-aid on Chicago's. Why is it jumping like that? On Chicago's burgeoning, which means like a growing problem. That's what that means. Burgeoning migrant crisis after the, why is it, I don't know why it's jumping like that, y'all. After the cathartic and racially charged debate that reduced one member to tears, a 34-13 vote will provide enough. 34-13. Now they said it's divided. That's not even half. That's not even close to half. 34, and this is of the aldermen and all. 34 of 13 voted, and then some didn't vote, some was absent, whatever. But 34-13, that's not very divided. So most of the people who voted was, on board with this nonsense. A 34-13 vote will provide enough funding to carry Chicago only through June 30th. Okay. After that, even tougher choices will have to be made. The choice should be made right now that they need to leave. Okay. Listen. They are literally willing to spend $51 million for 1 month. This is just 1 month. Okay. $51 million for a single month just for them. Okay. Now, black people have been going through problems with Chicago, and I could be here until the sun comes up talking about all the problems black people have to deal with in Chicago. But black people have problems in Chicago and have been dealing with this for decades. Okay. Decades, and they come over here. They haven't even been here a whole year yet, and yet you're sitting up there literally breaking the bank. You're sitting up there scraping pennies and dimes out in between your couch cushions for them. All right. Now, continuing, if it keeps jumping like that, that's probably like an ad that's popping up or something, and the ad blocker's taking it down. I don't know why, but y'all just ignore that. Okay. Now, it says the ruckus intention-filled meeting saw public speakers on both sides of the migrant crisis shouting each other down, prompting appeals for decorum from Mayor Brandon Johnson. ADL, that stands for Alderman Jeanette Taylor, but y'all pay attention to this. Alderman Jeanette Taylor, 20th, and they're saying that's the 20th ward. Cho's ward includes a excuse me, sorry. Chose a respite center at a shelter, Wadsworth Elementary School. Sorry, y'all. Was crying as she shouted from her seat about the racial tension triggered by the emergency request to earmark $51 million for the immigrant crisis, while the needs of African Americans continue to be ignored. Now, that is true. That is very true. Okay, $51 million for them. Now, before we talk about, I'm just going to pause it right here before we continue. Before we talk about that, exactly right, brother, get them thumbs up. Let's get them likes up, family. Let's get them likes up. Now, before we talk about this, right, let me ask you, do you think that if these were black immigrants, do you think that Chicago would be breaking the bank for them? Remember when the Haitians came over here in 2020, or were trying to come over to America in 2020, and all of them, not half, not 75%, all of them were immediately shipped back to Haiti, and you didn't hear nobody say anything? Do you think if these were black immigrants, if these were Haitians, Jamaicans, Nigerians, any other black immigrant, do you think that Chicago would be sitting up there spending millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars on them? So you guys know, this isn't no pro-immigrant problem. These are the fact that these immigrants are here to replace the black people. If these were black immigrants, they would be like, hell no, you take your black ass back to your country. We don't got no room for you. We're not even trying to hear no sob story. You got to go. That's exactly what they would be saying. And we know for a fact that that's exactly what they would be saying, because that's exactly what they did say. They said, hey, mysteriously, our president was assassinated. We got crisis in our country. We need to leave. They said, well, that's too bad. You take your black ass back to Haiti. Y'all do some, y'all pull yourselves up by your own bootstraps. That's what they told them. And yet when it comes to the immigrant crisis, well, come on now, they're pregnant women and their little kids and babies. We can't ignore the babies now. So no, this is not an immigrant thing. We got to think beyond the immigrant thing. This is the fact that this is a racial problem. This is a racial problem. All right. Now, continue. Now, remember her name, Jeanette Taylor from the 20th Ward. Remember her name. She says, quote, "Don't let these tears fool you. When I have these tears, it's usually because I'm mad as hell and I want to fight," Taylor said after apologizing for sitting because, quote, "my knees are on fire. I'm so tired of when it's a crisis for everyone else, we got to do something. But when we're having this violence in the Black community, nothing gets said or nothing gets done." That is correct. Nothing gets said or nothing gets done. And people sit up there, they want to act like it's a Black problem. Okay. Then it says, "It ain't our responsibility to take care of everyone else. And we're tired because we do just that. When we fought for civil rights, when we fought just to drink out a damn fountain, it was just us," Taylor said. And let me pause it right there. Exactly. Now, when Black people got to fight for something, when Black people got to go through a crisis, Black people's crisis is all by themselves. You cannot name a single crisis that Black people have been through, a single movement that Black people have been through, or anything where you've had another community. And I'm saying community. I'm not talking about one or two individuals who might not be Black. I'm talking about a community that has allied themselves for the benefit of the Black community. Okay, any community that's quote unquote allied themselves, like in the civil rights movement, when it came to the Black movement, they did that for their own agenda, their own rights, or whatever the case is. They were looking out for themselves, so they were really coattailing the Black movement. Okay. So it wasn't like, man, these Black people, they're being so mistreated. They're being done so wrong. I can't stand this. I got to do something. No community has ever been like that. All right. Now you see this. I'm not doing nothing. Y'all see the screen just jumping up and down. Okay. I don't know why it's doing that. Now this is what she looked like. Got the kid take off and all that stuff. Now here's the plot twist, y'all. Here we go. All right. What the hell? Okay, hold on. Where am I at? Okay, see, it bumped me all the way back to the top. Okay, anyway. It says, "Noting that African Americans came to this country on slave ships," Taylor said, "this wasn't my choice. I would never choose to live in a space that hurt me every day. I know it's right to help other people because as Black people, that's what we do. But when the hell are you going to help us?" After Taylor spoke, her colleagues gave her a standing ovation. But after she voted for the fund transfer, she faced shouts of, quote, "traitor" and "sellout" from the gallery, prompting Johnson, they're talking Brandon Johnson, to weigh in. Yo, all of this stuff, let's take a good look at her. All of this stuff, when are we going to care about Black people? When are we going to do this for Black people? Black people did this and Black people been, and all of that is true. That what she said was 100% true. When I was reading this the first time, I was like, okay, we see a sister who's on code. But she's going to say all that and then vote yes. And then vote yes for them to give them the money. See, this is the problem that we have with a lot of these Black politicians. They'll talk Black in a microphone. They'll talk Black in front of the camera. Oh, I can't believe these Black people been ignored, and we tired of being ignored and all that. Just like the Johnson brothers. Remember? When we were talking about that the other day with the big one with the Afro and everything, and he all like, "I'm tired of this and I'm tired of that, and we will overcome from the slave ships." Remember all of that? Remember that? And then next thing you know, he's fighting for some other groups of people. They'll talk Black in front of the camera. They'll talk Black in a meeting where everybody's looking at them like, African Americans, we built this country by ourselves and nobody else helped us, nobody supports us and everything like that. They never give money to these immigrants though. What the hell? Okay. Now remember, that's Jeanette Taylor from the 20th Ward. So next time she goes to for re-election, we know what to do. Because it don't matter how you talk if you move a different way. It does not matter how you talk. You can be, well, you know, the reason I did it, it don't matter why you did it. Okay. All that talk is fake if it's not met by the actions. All right. So, yeah. So after that, everybody was all like, you traitor, 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 because she was talking like she was against it. Then they found out she voted for it. So people were snapping off on her, right? And then Brandon Johnson, he was like, oh, yeah, let's calm down. And then he says, now we're right here. He says, I would respectfully ask this chamber to respect the order of decorum of this body of government, the mayor said. The position has been stated. Your position in opposition has been heard. Not really, Brandon, but okay. Now, Alderman David Moore from the 17th told colleagues, the soul of Chicago is somewhat on trial today, invoking the theme of Johnson's inaugural address. All right. Which I don't really remember. Hold on. Everybody call me when I'm on YouTube. Okay. Anyway, let me see. Where? See, the thing is that this article keeps jumping around, and I gotta find out exactly where we. Okay. Anyway, right here. Now this is David Moore from the 17th Ward, right? He says 15% of my residents are Latino. 50, not 15. My bad. 50. No, he said 15, not 50. Okay, 15%. My fault. Of my residents are Latino. It hurts my heart as I hear people trying to make this a black and brown issue. Now, it is a black and brown issue. It's a black and brown issue because, as I just stated, if these were black immigrants, we wouldn't even be having this conversation because they wouldn't be here. Okay. Then he says, some of my Latino residents are saying the same thing. I hear them all saying, what about us? Moore said. Okay. Please tell me. Oh, come on. This thing. Okay. Now it's right here. It says, I get calls from seniors who have paid their taxes for 60 or 70 years. Their porches are falling down. Their roofs are collapsing. Yet they have to go through a lottery to stay in their home. Some of them end up homeless. They go to a field house that's 100 years old. It's falling apart. They say, and this is quote, y'all get us no money for that. Okay. After visiting a police station and seeing Hispanic babies, some of whom look just like me, Moore, who's a Hispanic, if y'all didn't know, Moore said his quote, heart hurts for both blacks and Hispanics. His heart don't hurt for no damn black people. His heart does not hurt for black people. Okay. My heart hurts for blacks and Hispanics. That's a damn lie. Okay. Then he says, quote, loving my residents doesn't mean I hate anyone else, Moore said, quoting former Mayor Harold Washington. Listen, y'all, they're taking this Harold Washington stuff and they're turning Harold Washington pretty much into the new Dr. King. You know how they used to do with Dr. King, and they used to talk about, Dr. King said that he wants everybody to just get along and ignore racism. And he had a dream that white people and black people can hold hands and sit at the same table. And we kind of reversed that. They can't even use that artificial version of Dr. King anymore. So now they're cherry picking parts of what Harold Washington was talking about. Now, when it comes to advocating for black people and black Chicagoans, they don't bring up Harold Washington. But when Harold Washington was talking about being a sanctuary city, now they all like, well, now come on, now let's respect Harold Washington. Harold Washington did say that. We all love Harold Washington now, all of a sudden. Now, continuing, and he says, I hear people saying there's enough money to go around. Well, if there's enough money to go around, let's pass an ordinance where we see the enough. We have to help the residents of this great city, said Moore. Okay. No, we don't need to be breaking the bag for enough. They need to be us, the people living in Chicago need to be prioritized, not these immigrants coming, illegals coming over here. Now, it continues to say, and I'm trying to be quick with this because the article's jumping up and down and I'm losing my, where I am. Okay, so it's kind of going all over the place. Now, Harold was, I do agree with you on that. Harold was wrong when it came to that. Harold Washington, I disagree, and you can respect somebody and disagree with that, but I do agree that Harold was wrong when it came to that. However, though, Harold, during his time as mayor, he didn't have thousands of illegal immigrants getting shipped to Chicago. That was not an issue during his time as mayor. Okay. But yeah, Harold has some things, right? Now, here we go. Now, Maria Hendon, from the 49th ward represents a far northwest ward where a Park District beach house is now housing migrants. They call migrants illegals. The fund transfer is, quote, the right thing to do in this moment, she said. Or our organizations and our communities have already been bearing the cost of this. And to be fair, a lot of migrants that you're seeing at our doors in our neighborhoods, they didn't charter their own bus to Chicago. They were sent here, Hatton added. Now, here's the thing, Hatton. They didn't, charter their own self to Chicago. They didn't bring themselves to Chicago, the city of Chicago, but they did bring themselves to the United States. They didn't come to Chicago maybe on purpose. They came to Texas and they were sent to Chicago, but they came to the United States on purpose. She's making it seem like this is pretty much the whole, how they do the thing when they talk about us, FBA, and they were all like, oh, we were bought here from Africa with the transatlantic slave trade, and we didn't ask to be enslaved and bought here. We didn't ask for that. Okay, well, for the black people who were, no, they didn't ask for that. But the thing is that this is not the same context, because they might not have been asked to come to Chicago, but they did break their necks to come to America. Okay, so let's not act like they're here and they didn't choose to be here. Okay, continuing, it says, a conflict has been created at a weak point in our city, and it's frustrating because this weak point wouldn't exist if our city hadn't had decades not serving black residents. Yeah, I mean, that they did, and they're not doing that now. Newly elected Alderman Jesse Fuentes, 26th ward, said she couldn't agree more. The raw emotion on display Wednesday was a product of, quote, racial and generational trauma, decades, centuries of disinvestment in our black communities, Fuentes said. What we are listening to is pain. We have a moral obligation to resolve. With police stations, scrolling down a little bit, busting at the seams, Fuentes said council members have an obligation to be pragmatic by approving the fund transfer. So this is what they talk about. And I want you guys to get the theme. All right. And then after this, I'm going to show you guys the actual numbers. I want you guys to get the theme, right? Now, all of them, they're talking about, oh man, the black people have been so ignored in Chicago. Black people have been so ignored. It is so wrong what we're doing to the black people in Chicago. But I'm going to vote yes anyway. All of the ones who are set up there, I guess, defending black people and all of that stuff and acting like they're saying one thing and then they're acting a completely different way. They're moving a completely different way. Okay, for the majority of them. And I'm going to show you the actual the list right after we get done with this, right? And then it continues to say, quote, but when we vote for the 51 million, I expect this same city council to create alternatives, listen to this, to a prison system that disproportionately incarcerates black people. I also expect us to create schools that do not only create pipelines to prison for Black students, and I expect us to fully fund our parks for Black children, so Black children can experience joy. Now that's just great, and that's just wonderful. Now here is the thing. Black people, and we all know how corrupt the law government is in Chicago. We all know how corrupt the schooling is in Chicago for Black people. That is true. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to say we're just going to give them checks. We're just going to give them checks. But what we do for Black people, we need to create this vague alternatives to a prison system. Yeah, we need to create alternatives to a prison system. No. We're not going to do a thing where they get checks and we get prison reform, where they get checks and we get a damn community park, where they get checks and they fix up school fountains and school playgrounds and recesses and put new damn number 2 pencils in public schools. We're not going to do that. We got to have the alternatives and resources. And they're just getting checks in housing, in preferential treatment. After, and she's saying, yeah, she voted, yeah, after we give them $51 million just for this 1 month, then let's talk about all the Black people who are disproportionately in prison. No. She's trying to spin this off because she doesn't want to come off as she's anti-Black. So what she's trying to do is she's trying to say, yeah, I want to give them this, but now I got to bring up a Black issue. Now here's the thing. Everybody knows prison is a very easy quote unquote Black issue to bring up. Everybody knows that. So when people talk about Black issues, they don't talk about giving us tangibles. They don't talk about giving us reparations. They talk about what we really got to do is we really got to fix the prison pipeline, and we got to fix the schools. All this vague, we got to fix this, and we got to fix the system for Black people, but we got to give them checks. No, you fix us the same way you trying to fix them. How about that? Then Alderman Mike Rodriguez from the 20th Ward said the first immigrant woman he had met at the Ogden my tongue is twisting. Y'all, Lord have mercy. Ogden district. Sorry about that, y'all. Y'all know my tongue be twisted sometimes. Y'all just gonna have to, excuse your brother. Was 8 months pregnant with a 3-year-old son sleeping on the floor of a station. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, she's 8 months pregnant with a 3-year-old son. Well, she didn't think about her children when she fled to America. Okay. Oh, she's sleeping on the floor. She could be sleeping in the house back in Mexico. Then she says, none of us can stand here right now and believe that that's justice. Rodriguez says, we're trying to provide a bit more justice for for the newest of immigrants who, by the way, I'm looking forward. Listen to this. This is Mike Rodriguez. I'm looking forward to welcoming, hopefully, into our schools and into our communities. They will be the next generation of this great diversity of our city. See, listen to what they're saying. This man is saying he wants them to be here to stay. These people are here to stay. He's not saying that these people are, he's not saying that, yeah, we got to help them until they can get on their feet and whatever the case is, and then afterwards we ship them. He's not talking about that. He's saying that these are the next generation. Okay, so you guys know what they're going to do now after they get the housing situation and their economics in order. They're going to start putting them in public schools. They're going to start opening schools up specifically for them. Y'all think that they opening schools up for them to be housed, but they're not going to be opening schools up for them to actually go to school? And you think when they open up schools for them to go to school, you think that they're going to be having to face a school to prison pipeline the way black children have to face? You think they're going to be being racially oppressed and expelled the way black children have to? No, they won't. And then it says, last week, 3 members of the parliamentary my tongue is twisting right now. Parliamentary maneuver to postpone the final votes, and Alderman Carlos Ramirez Rosa from the 35th Ward, Johnson's floor leader, predicted it would easily have the votes to approve the fund transfer when the council reconvened. He was right. Okay, so they postponed it. Is what they're saying. Then it says, but a week-long wait did not change the minds of the older person, Anthony Bell, 9th, Ray Lopez, 15th, and Antonio Napolito. Oh Lord, have mercy. Napolito, from the 45th. The 3 members who forced the original delay. Okay, and then it continues to say they joined by Northwest Side. They were joined by Northwest Side Nick Spasato, I believe, Spasato from the 38th Ward, whose ward is home to the Wilburg Wright College, where 400 migrants, quote unquote, illegals, were transferred to reduce the number of asylum seekers forced to sleep on the floors at local police stations. Okay. Then it continues to say, before Wednesday's vote, Lopez asked 3 questions. Where the hell did the $112 million go that the city has already spent on the migrant crisis? Now, and this is a Hispanic saying this. Like I said before, they've are in 111 million. I mean, 12 million. They've spent way more than that. But let's just keep it at 12 million. Let's just keep it at that and say that's the limit. They've already, in less than a calendar year, they've already spent $112 million specifically for them. Okay, and we know it's more than that, but even if we say that's all, that's just them. And then they're talking about now we have to give them $51 million more dollars. Okay, now it continues to say, where will this $51 million go? And what is the plan starting July 1st after the latest funds run out? See, this is the thing. And these are good questions, because this is the thing. Because what they try to do is they try to be like, oh, no, this is just temporary. This is just because we're facing this crisis right now. This is temporary. This is temporary. The same thing that they were saying with Ukraine. Remember when Biden was signing off all these orders and everything like that, and they were just giving billions of dollars to Ukraine, and they kept talking about, oh man, this is temporary. This is just so we can deal with the issue. And then afterwards, we're going to clean all this stuff up. It's temporary, and they'll do it for 1 month. And then the next month, they'll cut another check. And then the next month, they'll cut another check. And they keep cutting checks. They'll say, oh, this check is just for June. And they'll watch in July. They'll be all like, oh, my God, we didn't see this coming. Now we have to cut another check. What's going to happen when it runs out? You're going to send them back? They're not going to send them back. So you're going to need more money. And if you don't send them back, you're going to have to keep paying. That's the problem. Okay. Now, Napolito said a city that cannot take care of its own is not worthy of being called a city. Yet, quote, we're not even taking care of our own sick and our own poor. Now, I believe that is like Eastern European a European name. And I believe these people are European. Okay. Spasato, and I believe that's Italian. I believe he's Italian. Said his community was ambushed by the Respect Center at Wright. If the 51 million had been earmarked for all of Chicago's homeless people, Spasato said he would be all for it, but instead it's a temporary fix to the problem of housing migrants. Okay. Then it says the migrant crisis has not only reached cities' resources to its limits, has already stretched cities' resources to its limits, but also, excuse me, let me take a drink actually. Exacerbated long-standing political tensions between blacks and Hispanics. The bitter division here only display from the moment Johnson gavelled the cities of the council into session. So yeah, this is a race problem, and even white folks are admitting that this is a race problem. The protesters at the gallery shouted their opposition to the fund transfer even before the meeting started. They shouted during a pledge of allegiance and continued shouting during the avocation. Sorry. One man was so unruly, he shouted he had to be escorted out of the council member, right? As he did when Taylor was attacked later. She attacked. They're saying attacked. Okay, as Ed Taylor, and that's the woman who voted yes, despite saying, "Oh, you know, black people been doing this, and nobody cares about black people, whatever." As he did when Taylor was attacked later in the meeting, Johnson tried his best to ease the tension. Quote, "I understand there is a great deal of energy," the new mayor said, but he urged public speakers to restrain themselves and excuse, quote, exercise some level of decorum and have a public discourse that, quote, does not demonstrate the worst parts of our democracy. I think, Brandon Johnson, that giving these illegals this money, despite the fact that black people in Chicago, and even if you don't want to give it to just black people, there's a whole bunch of issues in Chicago with the schools, with the transportation, with the crime, with all of these problems in Chicago, with the jobs, all of these problems in Chicago that $51 million could be going to. Since you don't want to do nothing for black people, $51 could be going to. You're saying, damn, all of that and everything like that. And you want, but when it comes to time for election and everything like that, you send up there asking for black support. You want the black people to vote for you. Now it's saying that appeal was largely ignored, and yeah, it was. Excuse me. Speaker, Speaker after speaker demanded that the $51 million be spent on reparations. Shout out to, reparations. It be spent on reparations, even though $51 million is way too low to spend on reparations. That's way too, $51 million for all of Chicago is way too low, but okay. I see the energy and where they're coming from with that. $51 million to be spent on reparations. They demanded that empty schools still standing vacate in South and West Side communities after 10 years after being closed by Mayor Rahm Emanuel be turned into community centers to occupy black youth whose neighborhoods have been starved of resources. Okay, and that's very, very true. Okay, now it's saying joining Bell Lopez, Moore, Napolito, and Sapoto in voting no were Greg Mitchell, Michelle Harris, Marty Quinn, Derek Curtis, Monique Scott, Emma Mitz, Brandon Riley, and Jim Gardner. All right. After the meeting, Johnson traced the anger that characterized Wednesday's debate to the closing of schools and mental health centers that inspired the movement that culminated in his election. Quote, "The tone really reflects the failures of the past," he said. But he denied the jeers and shouts from the gallery means his political honeymoon is over after 2 weeks on the job. Yeah, it's pretty much over, Johnson. If you ever had a honeymoon, his political honeymoon, he ain't even been in for a whole month, and already people are like, "Hey man, he got to go. He has to go." And 2 months in, I mean, he's beating Lori Lightfoot out by a mile. Lori Lightfoot at least had to mess up. At least she at least got comfortable in her position before she started messing up. This man, the second he was sworn in, people are like, you got to go. It continues to say, the city of Chicago did not fall apart because people were emotional today. In fact, I would urge that the city of Chicago is stronger because even though that debate, we were still able to have a democratic process where voices were heard. He said voices were heard and a lot of voices were ignored. The problem is not the fact that voices get heard. The problem is the fact that voices get ignored. That's the problem. Okay, black people have always had a voice. It's the fact that black voices have always been ignored. Yeah, we heard what you had to say, we just ignored it. That's the problem. Johnson said he has no plans to, quote, duck and dodge the challenge I inherited from former mayor Lori Lightfoot. He plans to, quote, take it head on. Okay, all right, but you're doing the wrong thing. The mayor was asked whether he has long-term plans for immigrant funding. And then he says this, quote, you're seeing the plan right now. What you're seeing is a collaborative effort to decompress police stations. We're having community meetings to stand up facilities that we do have access to. We're working hard. It's been 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm pretty confident we'll get to the third week, he said. So he pretty much joked it off when he said, okay, what are your long-term plans? Oh, we're doing that right now. We're getting them out of the police station. That's not an answer. Their answer is, okay, let's say you house them all. What is this? They're here to stay. And this is what I'm telling you right now. They're bringing them all in, thousands of them. They're bringing thousands of them all in, and they're here to stay. Excuse me, hold on. They're here to stay. They're not here to, we just got to help them get on their feet and then they can go somewhere else. All right. And he's all, oh, yeah, I'm pretty confident we'll make it to the third week, trying to joke it off because he doesn't have a plan. He doesn't want to say that they're here to stay. All right. And then this is the outdoor planning and everything like that. And this is about the pandemic. So this ain't really got nothing to do with the immigrant thing, because they voted on having like you know how with the COVID situation, hold on. My throat is a little scratchy. All right, you know how they're having like with the COVID situation, and a lot of restaurants were having tables outside and people were eating outside and stuff like that. They're all like, oh yeah, that has literally nothing to do with anything, but that's what they were talking about. All right. Now, shout out to everybody. And we almost got 200 people in the room, and I haven't been live in like a week. So that is really, really, really good. Shout out to every single last one of you guys. If you guys could please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so. If you're new, let's go. It says, let's go immigrants, migrants. You mean illegals. That's what you mean. You mean illegals. We got some haters in the chat room. Yeah, I've been seeing them. Okay. All right. You can be on your high horse right now. Lori Lightfoot thought that all that stuff. If Brandon Johnson think he ain't following the same path, he's gonna be sadly mistaken. Now, let me show you this. We're gonna get to the whole we're gonna get to the situation with Gabe, the suspected white supremacist. We're going to get to him. These are all now this is the meeting. Okay. Now this is the 34 people who voted yes. And this is the 13 people who voted no. And then you had 2 people who were absent. All right. So all of these people, and it goes down through wards like 5th ward all the way, because Chicago has 50 wards. So you guys know. So all of these people who are green voted yes. The only people who voted no were the people in the red. Okay. So that's the 17th. That's the 7th, 8th, 9th, 15th, 17th, 23rd wasn't there, 24th, 37, 38, 41, 42, 45, and 50 wasn't there. But everybody else pretty much unanimous. Oh, and 18, if I didn't say that. Everybody else unanimously pretty much voted yeah to give them more money. Now, no hate, just playing. I'm sure this is a frustrating situation for you folks. Okay, all right. Now, here's the thing. They all voted. Now, let me address this. We got to pay very close attention. This is why we say not just the mayor, but the alderman, all of the city council and everything like that, that all plays a major factor in everything. Okay? The mayor is important. The president is important. All of the government is important. So that's why I'm glad that we're starting to see this trend of more black people who are on code saying, you know what, I'm going to run. I'm going to run on a reparations platform. I'm going to say these illegals, they got to go. I'm going to focus on black issues, black FBA issues. I'm going to focus on that. You know what I'm saying? So we're starting to see that now, because at a certain point, when you push your people to a limit where they feel like, okay, this is the game we're supposed to play. We're supposed to vote for whoever we feel is the best option. But if each option is equally as bad, then, hey, I got to be the option now. If nobody else does it, I'm going to have to do it. So we have more people not only running, which is good, but we have more people showing up to the city councils and stuff like that and voicing their anger, voicing their opposition, you know, voicing all of this stuff, because that's not fair. What's happening is not fair. And this is a race thing. All right. Because they would not be doing this if this was not, excuse me. If they would not be doing this, if this wasn't, if they were not black, if they were black, I mean. All right. Now, gotta clear something up. I have to clear something up. So you guys know I was very politically involved in this latest, well, I ain't gonna say very, but I kind of was politically involved in this latest, in this latest election, right? So I'm looking at the chat room. So there was an individual, and I'm gonna bring his name up for the first time ever. Individual who was running for city alderman, named Gabriel Pelamonte. He was running for the 5th Ward. I never said anything for or against his campaign. Now, he quote unquote ran on reparations because he saw it was a trend, and the 5th Ward has a lot of black people in it. So what he thought he was going to finesse is the fact that he was all like, you know, he ran before and lost. Ran and lost before. This wasn't his first time, his first rodeo. Ran and lost before. Then what he tried to do is he tried to say, oh, guys, I'm for reparations. And he thought that black people were just going to be fooled into thinking like, oh, reparations? I'm going to vote for you now. Well, no, his background didn't check out to me. I didn't worry about it because I had bigger ops. I had bigger fish to fry. I'm like, Gabe, I'm not worrying about that. I'm gonna get to y'all super chat. I see there was 2 super chats. I'm gonna get to that in a minute, but thank you for that. I'm like, I'm not worried about that. And I'm not, because I knew he wasn't relevant. I knew he wasn't relevant. Okay. All right. And how I knew is because I know people from the 5th Ward who live in the 5th Ward, who've been in the 5th Ward for decades before I was even born. Okay. So I I'm cool with him. I called him up, and I'm saying, I'm all like, have you heard of this guy who's running for the 5th Ward alderman named Gabe? It said, who? It said, Gabe. Who's Gabe? Gabe? I ain't never heard no Gabe. I'm like, oh, okay. We know, we call him Gabe online, right? But Gabe, who's Italian or something like that. I'm like, oh, okay. Let me say his full name. I said Gabriel Pilamonti. They said, huh? They said, what? They said Gabriel Pismayanti. I said, no. I said Gabriel Pilamonti. They said, oh, I've never heard of that name before. I was like, huh? They never heard of that name? So I went to the Fifth Ward. I'm all like, I wonder if he has signs up right now. He ain't have none of that. Nobody from the Fifth Ward knew who he was. I was like, oh God. So I asked, I showed him a picture. I'm like, no, this, have you ever seen this guy? Is he on a commercial, on a flyer or anything? They picked the flyer up. They was like, ew. They said, you know how it's not like a ew, like, ew, that's nasty. They said, ew, they did the neck jerking. Like, ew, that's disgusting. Ew. I was like, oh, wow. You never heard that? I was like, what the hell? They said, they told me he looks like the Penguin from the Batman movies. And I was like, damn. Because if you guys didn't know, I actually met Gabe in person. Oh, he was so excited. He didn't tell y'all that. But Gabe was so excited to meet me. Because I was asking him, like, hey, Gabe, you know, you're on Twitter, you're for reparations. I'm Afro Elite. This man went around. He's like, guys, this is Afro Elite, y'all. This is Afro Elite. He shook my hand. He was ecstatic to meet me. I'm like, I'm just on some cool stuff. I'm like, hey, Gabe, you know what I'm saying? He was trying to do his thing. So I took all right. I was like, this is how Gabe looks in real life. All right. Oh, damn. Hold on. Damn it. I was supposed to put that right there. Okay, hold on. Look at this, y'all. Look at this. So that's how he looks in real life. And then when people kept saying, that looks like the Penguin. He looks like the Penguin. He looks like a supervillain. And I'm like, damn. He kind of does look like the Penguin. So I just went in and I kind of looked, and the more I started looking at the picture side by side, I'm like, he looks like the Penguin, like the Joker, the Penguin. So, and then I looked and he looks like this. I was like, damn, that he does look like no wonder nobody voted for him. He looks like a supervillain. First off, nobody knew. And then the people who knew, he was like, I'm not going to vote for him. I like Batman. I'm all like, well, yeah, of course. Why would you vote for a Batman villain? See, that's the problem. They was all like, why Lori Lightfoot acting like the Penguin? And Gabe acting like the Penguin? People, and that's the problem with Chicago. Chicago doesn't have normal politicians. All of the politicians look like weird supervillains, okay, who are abused as children. He looks like, first off, and I don't like to make fun of people's like medical conditions. You guys know I do not like to do that. You know I take that stuff very, very serious. Okay, but I want you guys to know, this is just information. When I saw Gabe, it looked like he was wearing a diaper. It looked like that to me personally. Okay, I don't know. Maybe he has bladder control issues or whatever the case is. Maybe he has a hard time going to the bathroom. Maybe he had bad diarrhea that day. I don't know what it is, but it looked, you know how those old men in the nursing homes and everything, they wear those, adult pull-ups, those Depends, those diapers. It looked like he was wearing an adult diaper. I'm all like, damn, man, can Chicago be better than this? Chicago got to be better than this. So I'm like, I'm not going to even take him serious. No, but I'm not going to fight no man in a diaper. I'm not going to fight no man. I got bigger ops to fry. Okay. I had to deal with Lori Lightfoot. Okay. All right. I don't have time. My Batman, I guess, career is still in its early stages. I can only deal with one supervillain at a time. If I'm dealing with this Penguin, I can't deal with Penguin Jr. You know what I'm saying? I got to deal with the at least the ones who don't have diapers. I'll let somebody else deal with the diaper folk, whatever the case is. I was thinking about calling a retirement home and saying that they lost their person, okay? And he's out here thinking he's going to be a politician, okay? Y'all need to go pick him up before he hurt himself. That's what I wanted to do. I was going to be a good Samaritan, but I decided to leave it alone. But now I realize I should have did that. So, Gabe, right? Okay. It says dude might be a mass. He might be. He might be. You say he might be a mass. He might commit some mass. I don't know. He looks like a supervillain, and he's lying like one too. So this is what this guy had to say about me. Now, mind you, never said a word about. Once I saw the guy was wearing diapers, I'm all like, why would I beat up on somebody wearing diapers? I don't do that. I don't beat up old people wearing. Now, the only person who I'm gonna beat up who I think wears diapers is Joe Biden. Besides Joe Biden, I don't attack old people wearing diapers. Besides him, that's it. Okay, so I left him alone. But clearly, he didn't. He had an issue with me, so he just started spreading this lie, right? This crazy lie. This man, let me show you this. Right now, everybody knows Naheem wanted clout off me, so he wanted to debate me. So, Naheem's, I kind of roasted Naheem in a Black Alpha space. Shout out to our brother Black Alpha. You know what I'm saying. So I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna deal with that. No, so Naheem or Lord Abba, he teamed up with the Penguin, and you can let's look at his. Doesn't he look like a supervillain? Like if you look at this, does this look like a trustworthy person? Look at the mustache. Look at that. Does that look like somebody you would trust? Does that look like somebody you can vote for? Does that look like somebody like that? Like really? Does he really look like somebody like I would trust that guy? No, not really. Like, come on, y'all. So anyway. So this is what he was in a space talking mad about me. Listen to what he had to say.
And Afro Elite just kind of quietly puts this thing up like, look at this. It's migrants get money, and I'm like. So I was just like, well, let's be honest about this. You can't just kind of quietly grumble about, oh, look at this vote. When one of the people who voted for it, I mean, dude was in polling stations. I would go to check on my poll watchers, and there's Afro Elite.
So whoa. Hold up. Because I didn't know. Wait a minute.
First off, that's a lie. That's a total lie. Now, we did meet at a polling station, but the person he's talking for, because he was going for the 5th ward, the alderman of the 5th ward. I did not support any alderman. I was not out there campaigning for any alderman at all. So the person who voted yes, and to be honest, I don't think that Gabriel, if he was in that position, which he never would have been, I don't think he would have voted no either, because he's a suspected white supremacist, okay, who lies on black people. But the thing is that I never, I was not sitting up there voting, and this man is going around spreading this lie that I was campaigning for Desmond Yancey. Now, for the people who've been following me for a little bit of time, have you guys ever heard me say anything about Desmond Yancey? No, you haven't. I've never said anything at all about Desmond damn Yancey. But this man is all like, you know what? All of the black immigrants was really Afro Elite fault. Oh, the Afro Elite train was rolling that day, and y'all, and some of y'all, not the ones in the chat, because y'all got some sense, but some of them on Twitter, they was just eating it up. They were like, white daddy said what? Now listen to this dude, Naheem.
And Afro Elite just kind of quietly puts this thing up like, look at this. It's migrants get money, and I'm like, so I was just like, well, let's be honest about this. You can't just kind of quietly grumble about, oh, look at this vote. When one of the people who voted for it, I mean, dude was in polling stations. I would go to check on my poll watchers, and there's Afro Elite. So
whoa. Hold up. Because I didn't know. Wait a minute. Are you saying?
Now look at how he just this dude, and I barely talk about him because he's not relevant at all. He's sitting up there trying to push some fake organization. I don't even talk about him, but I think this is hilarious. Whoa. Hold up. I didn't know that. No, what? Hold on. Wait a minute. What? This dude sounds stupid. This white man just says anything. You know, Afro Elite, really, he from China. What? Huh? I didn't, he's Japanese, he's Chinese? What? Whoa, 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 whoa. I didn't know that. No. This dude sounds like an idiot. He sounds like Patrick Star from the SpongeBob SquarePants cartoon. Listen to him again. Tell me this man does not sound like Patrick.
Look at this vote. When one of the people who voted for it, I mean, dude was in polling stations. I would go to check on my poll watchers, and
tell me this guy doesn't sound like Patrick.
There's Afro Elite.
So whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up. Because I didn't know. Wait a minute.
That sounds like he's imitating Patrick Star, the idiot from the SpongeBob cartoon. I didn't wait a minute. I didn't even know that.
Are you saying that this guy whose Twitter handle is, because we know that's not his real name,
right?
Afro.
His Twitter handle, because we know that's not his real name. We know that's not. He said like he's saying something deep. We know that's not his real name. Afro Elite is not his real name. He's been lying to you guys the whole time. His parents didn't name him Afro Elite. Afro Elite is not on his driver's license. His name, he's lying to you guys. You guys call him Afro Elite. His name isn't even Afro Elite, guys. My name is Lord Abba, but his name isn't even. Nobody thought. This is how slow. This is why I left this guy alone. This is how I left this guy alone, because I got bigger ops to fight. If I want to fight somebody and go to like an intellect, he wanted to debate me. This man wanted to debate me, and he's sitting up there acting surprised that Afro Elite is not my real name. Whose Twitter handle, because his real name is an Afro Elite. Do you guys think I was going to waste my time debating this man? This man, oh yeah, you know his name? His name isn't Afro. His name isn't Afro. His last name isn't Elite. He made that up. He came up with that by himself. Man, you know what's going to break his heart? You know what's going to break his heart is when he finds out 50 Cent is not his real name. It's going to break his heart when he finds out his parents didn't name him 50 and his last name ain't Cent. It's going to break his heart when he finds out Jay-Z is not his real name. It's going to break his heart when he finds out his parents didn't name him Jay and his last name is not Z. That's going to completely destroy him. Okay? His real name isn't Afro Elite. Oh my God. Okay. I don't think his real name is Abba. I don't think his parents named him Lord and his last name is Abba. I don't think so. Okay. But then listen to this.
Elite was in Chicago on the ground for Desmond Yancey?
You got it exactly right. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Wow.
It's that deep. It's that deep. And, you know.
Y'all, come on. Now, here's the thing. I expect that from them. To a degree, I expect that from them. Because if this dude was Naheem, you think his mama named him Naheem? You think that's how he was born? His Twitter handle was Afro Elite, because that's not his real name, y'all. You know he's lying. Y'all call him Afro. His name ain't even Afro. Yeah. Come on, y'all. And what I'm disappointed is some of y'all ate that up. Some of you guys were eating that up. Some of y'all, and at first it was offensive to me because I'm all like, on behalf of this suspected white supremacist Gabe, the Penguin, you guys were going to distrust me. Out of all of the stuff I talk about, you guys are going to believe that I voted for Desmond Yancey just purely off of his word. He didn't have to show proof. He didn't have to show I was even there, that he even met me. Purely off of his word alone, the word of a white man, you had some people, and it activated the little coon chip inside of them. You know how Dr. Umar says, all it takes is a little bit of white brainwashing to activate the coon chip. It activated the coon chip. And y'all was all like, Afro did what? What did you say, white father? Afro did what? I cannot believe it. All this time, I thought I knew him. Thank you, white man, for exposing Afro Elite and to the fraud he is. We should have supported you the whole time, because white people don't lie. Afro, how could you do that? And they came at me. It was like this. It was possessed. It was a couple of them. They were in the comments. They were DMing me. They were tagging me. They were sitting up there. They were on the YouTube. They were trying to get everything. It was like they were possessed. It's like if Gabe put like he stored this concoction and he like sprinkled it on them, and they just got mesmerized and possessed. They were like walking zombies of Coon and Sam. They were the Sambo zombies. They was like, oh, Afro, how could you do this? How could you do this? I was like, no, stop. Have you guys seen the Exorcist movie? Have you guys seen the Exorcist movie? It was scary to me. You know how the Exorcist, the guy was coming out, he had a Bible and he had a cross in his hand. And he was like, the power of Christ rebukes you. The power of Christ rebukes you. I didn't know what to do. They were like these possessed little coons, he put the spell of Sambo in them and everything. I didn't know what to do. I had to get my defenses ready. I got instead of the Bible and the cross, I got the ISIS paper. I got the ISIS papers and I got some shea butter. And I was like, no, be gone, Sambo, be gone. Get away, flee from me, get away, and everything. And it was like, oh my God, like, no. And so I sit up there. I took some of the shea butter. I took it off. I was sprinkling like, yo, flee. You know how they taking holy water? They were taking holy water and they would you spraying the holy water and like, no, stop. I was taking the shea butter. I was like, no, stop. And I was like, oh, I was like, oh my God, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? Listen, y'all. Listen, y'all got to stop with that. Come on. I'm going to need y'all to be a lot less, not y'all in the chat room, but some of y'all on Twitter. Now, I'm a family brother, so I ain't going to block y'all. I ain't going to say y'all names, but some of y'all got to be a lot less gullible than that, man. Y'all got to be a lot less gullible than that, brother. Okay? And sister. Y'all got to be a lot less gullible. See, that's all that damn bacon. All that bacon y'all was eating and everything like that. They put something in the bacon to make y'all sit up there and turn against me. And I'm not trying to say like people can't disagree with me or any of my decisions and everything like that. But really, off behalf of a white man, he was all like, go attack Afro Elite. He is a traitor. He voted for Desmond Yancey. They was all like, white father, yes, white father, Afro. And they said like, oh, I was like, no. I opened the book. I was like, yo, go away from me, leave. Oh, my bookmark fell out. I was like, no. They were like, no, and everything like that. I had to. It happens when their elbows is ashy and everything like that. I'm sitting up there fighting them. I had to dip my knuckles in shea butter and everything. So when I punched them, it would burn. It would steam because there's so much ash. Steam would come out the side. It was like and everything. So I was dealing with them like that. But I'm like, come on, y'all. Y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop with that. Off of Gabe? Off the Penguin? This ain't even a well put together white man. This ain't even I believe off the Penguin. Y'all be the same folks who be going to Vlad being all like, yeah, Vlad, I did this and this and this and this and this, and I went to the bank and I robbed the bank with George, and George say that his mama house on the 20. Y'all the same ones who be watching DJ Vlad interviews. Come on now. Y'all got to stop with all that pork. Y'all got to stop with that. See, Afro Elite is a good nickname. Thank you. I don't know if you guys didn't know, Afro Elite is actually not my real name. That's not my real name. Okay. I didn't know who didn't know that, but it's not. Okay. It's not my real name. Y'all come on. Y'all got to stop. Y'all got to stop. Now, I know some of y'all sitting up there a little bit offended, like Afro talking about my bacon. Look, come on. Y'all guys, you say what? I know. I'm sorry. Iron Will, he trusted me this whole time, and he thought my name was Afro Elite. He thought that was my real name, but that's not my real name. I actually came up with that name, so that's, yeah, everything's a lie. I know. I'm a fraud, and they were upset. So, yeah, that was like that. But yeah, I'm some of y'all, I don't know what it is, but some of y'all I'm starting to see, I'm all like, you know what? Some of y'all I need to put on a bench. Cause some of y'all been here and y'all been knowing me for a while. And yet every time there's a hate Afro elite train, y'all be right on board with that. Y'all be right on board with that. So I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. I'm really disappointed in some of y'all. Y'all gonna turn, y'all some shady, y'all shady. Now I'm not gonna block y'all. I'm not gonna expose y'all. I'm not gonna say anything about y'all names or nothing like that. I'm not gonna ban you from Twitter or YouTube or whatever the case. I'm gonna chop it up as y'all made a bad mistake, but y'all own probation. A lot of y'all don't know y'all been kicked off the team. Y'all just don't know it yet. Y'all just on the bench, okay? Because it's a lot of y'all who, first off, y'all just ignore Gabe. That was the smartest thing to do. A lot of y'all was all like, you know what? Let me hear what Afro got to say. Afro, what is this going on? Did you support him? Why? It was, and if y'all question me like, hey, Afro, what's going on? That would have been cool. But the fact that y'all was all like, Afro, now you got some answering to do. You got some serious answering to do. I'm disappointed in you. I listened to Gabe. He said that you was bad. Now I'm like, oh. I said, I'm like, ah. So I was like, okay, you sit on the bench. Sit on the bench. I'm like, okay. But yeah, for the record, I never said anything positive or negative, or really even ever bucked him up. This is the only time I'm ever going to do it because he's spreading this lie, which is why I suspect him to be a suspected white supremacist, because I feel like he's lying about his reparations stance, and he's lying on me, okay, to get black people to turn against me. That's something a white supremacist would do. All right, so that's why I believe that. But yeah. Yeah. Y'all got it's yep, they got benched. A lot of them got benched. They don't know they got benched yet. They just gonna see. They gonna be like, what's up, Afro? I'm like, anyway, yeah, y'all got benched. Y'all got benched. Now, when people take the trophy pictures, y'all gonna be the ones taking pictures, not in the pictures. That's what y'all get. Okay? Y'all gotta stop being so damn gullible. Y'all, there's some people in the community gullible as hell. Like, come on. Come on, Gabe. Gabe is a good man. Come on, now, damn. The Penguin, really? They voted for Joe Biden on the low. If y'all believe Gabe, I believe y'all voted for Joe Biden. I'm very for certain of it. But before we get out of here, let me give a shout out to Yo CM23 at for the $10 super sticker. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate. Excuse me. I greatly appreciate your support. Truly, I truly appreciate that. Thank you very much for your super chat. Our good brother Ren11B Airborne says, thank you, Afro Elite and the New Black Media. FBA stand up and be heard. Absolutely. So the next time, and people have been asking me about the next reparations meeting and everything, because a lot of people wanted to attend, and things got up. It was in the middle of the week anyway, so some people couldn't make it, and that's understandable. But they wanted me to keep them informed about the next one. So y'all make sure y'all subscribe and follow me on my social media, so that way you guys can stay up to date, right? Okay. And thank you very much, because he gave a whole $50 super chat. Greatly appreciate our brother Ren. Greatly appreciate that, and thank you very much. Now, tell it like it is. Another $50 super chat says, to all these, quote, immigrants, it's insulting. My wife immigrated to the United States legally and is currently giving her pound of flesh by service. Her pound of flesh by service in the U.S. Air Force. These other people are state-supported munchers, simple and plain. Thank you very much, tell like it is, for your super chat and your support. And exactly, these people are not here, and they're not going to do anything to help the economy. They're here. They're mantras, like you said, they're tethering off of the black community. That's what they're doing. This money belongs to us. This money is our money. There wouldn't be no money had it not been for us. So the fact that they get to come over here and they get our money is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. Okay? It's absolutely ridiculous. Tell it like it is. Oh, he's still in here, and our brother Ren is still in here. These people got to go. These people have to go, because the thing is that all of the voting and they're getting money and all that stuff, that's not a temporary thing. They're doing that, and their plan is to do that to stabilize them a little bit and for them to stay in Chicago. Their whole plan is for them to stay in Chicago, and they're not going to have to go through a vetting process. They're not going to have to go through a background check or none of that. They're going to get new identities, new everything, and they're just going to be able to stay in here. Okay? And then they're going to be treated with preferential treatment. They're going to be going to schools. They're going to be joining the police department. They're going to be joining the police department and law enforcement. That's their next plan. That's their next thing. Once they house them and get them all housed, all nice and comfy and everything like that, now is okay, how can we put you in positions to be able to do things to black people? It's going to happen next. Mark my words. Yeah, y'all. You guys should be following me on my social media pages, which is at Afro Elite on Instagram and at the Afro Elite on Twitter. Okay, and the links to that is in the description below, and you guys should be following me, because that's when I give updates to new like videos, new projects. Everybody wants to know about the next reparations task force, because they want their voice to be heard in Chicago. So definitely keep in contact with me as far as following me on Instagram, or as far as following me on Twitter and everything like that, so I can keep everybody up to date. Because last time they changed the date, like the day of or the day before, they changed the date. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you guys got to be keeping up with me so you guys don't miss out on that. All right. Yeah, man, I appreciate every single last one of you guys. We are on our way to 10K. We are on our way to 10K. Okay, we're definitely going to get it by the end of the year. I got some other things I'm working on too. We're going to get back to the YouTube schedule. So we're going to be doing this Monday through Thursday or whatever. Another special announcement too. Friday, I'm going to be on our good sister Zizi's channel, because we're having a special fundraiser for our brother Ozone. So we're going to be doing a fundraiser again. We're going to be having special guests come back. We're going to be having new guests come about. So we're going to be doing our thing to support our brother Ozone coming up this Friday. And that's going to be like 8 o'clock Central Time, which is going to be 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So Friday at 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard, we're going to be over on our sister Zizi's channel, and we're going to be chopping it up, and we're going to be talking about, you know, bringing Ozone home, because that's the big mission we're on right now. We're going to be doing that. So you guys definitely go. If you guys haven't seen her page, the thumbnail and everything is already up, so you guys can already go like that. You guys can already hit the notification bell so you guys don't miss out on that, because it's cool to watch it, but when it comes to fundraisers and stuff like that, you definitely want to see it live. When is the actual trial? To not give too much information, but I think I can say this because I think it's public information. It is public information. I think I can say this, but the trial starts in September. It was supposed to start, but they had pushed it back. Okay, so that's a good thing, because it gives us more time to get the money. So things are working in our favor. So it gives more time for us to get the money for his defense team and everything like that. So you guys definitely want to go to her page, subscribe if you haven't done so, and check that video out. Like it already, so it can already start circulating in the algorithm or whatever the case is, and then hit the notification bell. All right. But with that being said, brothers and sisters, Thank you all for being here. Be one salute to every single last one of you beautiful, gorgeous brothers and sisters. I was so happy to meet so many of you guys at the expo. Hopefully the next time we do something, more people are going to be there. Some people weren't able to go, but more people are going to be there for the next time whenever we do that, wherever we do that. So, and that might be coming soon. So I was so happy to meet every single last one of you guys. I met so many great brothers and sisters, all looking great, all this family vibe. It was so great to meet you guys, and the ones I haven't made, I will meet you guys sometime soon, definitely. But with that being said, brothers and sisters, be one salute to every single last one of you all, and of course, you all have a good one.